Welcome again to Mindful Yoga. So as we're learning to be more mindful in our class, we're also learning to be more mindful in our lives. And as we learn the art of embracing what is present, we become presence itself. The moment our attention shifts from the pure experience of the moment, our focus moves from our body and right into the mind. We're learning to experience the moment with detached awareness, which allows us to embrace and accept all the opposing experiences that come our way. So our body will naturally relax, our mind will naturally calm and become more peaceful. And this gathers all the scattered mental and emotional energies and gathers them and channels them into one direction we call meditation. So again, this is our practice here that we can bring into our lives. And the more we practice, the more fulfilled we can be, the more content we can be. We can start noticing what it is that takes us out of this state, our natural state of being. So once again, get nice and comfortable in your seat. We'll begin with a brief meditation. I like to pull the flesh out from under my buttocks so my sits bones are grounded. And I can sit nice and tall, roll the shoulders back and down, maybe shake a little bit, rock your head. Make sure you're loose and relaxed. So you can feel the base of your body grounded and the upper body lengthening upwards. So let your eyes close. And immediately drop your awareness inside, into the body. Feeling any energies that you feel present in the form of sensations, any discomfort. Let your body shift if needed. You might want to rock a little side to side or forward and back to find the very center point. And really root yourself into the earth. Consciously letting go of any held tensions. All through the face, down through the neck and shoulders and arms. Beginning to lengthen the breathing. Simply observing the quality of your breath today. Notice if your belly is tight. Notice if the chest area might be a little tight. And notice if your jaw may get tight once again. Let it relax. Coming into the present moment. Again, you are like a sky. And the clouds are all that happens, thoughts, emotions, experiences, perceptions. And you become the seer, the knower of all these things with detached awareness, letting them come and go. Bringing your attention just to the breath. On your next exhalation, let the shoulders drop a little heavier and lengthen up through your spine, right out through the crown of your head, but keep the shoulders relaxed, heavy, and down. And slowly bringing the hands together at the heart. Let your heart lift up towards your thumbs. Broaden the chest, reach the shoulders to the opposite sides of the room. On your next inhalation, we'll lengthen and exhale fully. And please join me as we chant the sound of Om. Another breath in. Om. and simply rest with the vibration of the chant in the body. Notice the calming effect. Lower your hands back to your thighs. Float the eyes slowly open. And slowly make your way down onto your belly. Take your time. Be conscious of your movements. Conscious of your breath. And make your way right down onto the belly. And come lying down however it feels comfortable. Maybe crossing the arms, resting your forehead on your hands, or turning your head to one side. Wiggle and shake a little bit to be completely comfortable. And notice how it feels a little different lying on your belly than it does on your back. When we're laying on our belly, there's a gentle pressure on the belly which stimulates a relaxation response. We also become more aware of the back side of the body. We're going to focus on forward folds today, which open the back and bring us more awareness into the back. So notice as you take your next breath in, the belly presses into the earth, and the belly, as you're breathing in, you expand in the low back. The whole back expands, but particularly in the low back. So take advantage of that. Begin to lengthen the breath. Let the inhalations be long, slow, and deep, with long, slow exhalations. And then bending your knees so the feet are up towards the sky. You can widen your knees a little bit if it feels more comfortable. We're just going to rotate the ankles. And going both directions with the ankles. And we can point and flex and move the ankles however it feels good, waking them up. And then we're going to windshield wiper the feet. So let them rock from side to side. Let them fall over to the side. Just beginning to warm up the low back a little bit. We're still breathing deeply. And then we'll lower the feet down to the mat. Let's bring the hands beside the body, press into the hands to bring ourselves up, and right back into child's pose, sitting on the heels. And the arms can be forward or alongside your body. Just rest your forehead down and notice if you need more space for your low back, you can widen the knees. And again, take a few more breaths. This is a very simple forward fold. Again, releasing in the low back, sending the breath through the spine. Feel the expansion of the back body and the ribs. And if your arms are alongside your body, bring your arms forward and give a good reach through the fingers. Reach the tail backwards as you reach forward through the fingers. Lower the forehead down and just get a good stretch through your spine. And then come up just a little bit and let's walk the hands over to the right. And just fold down. Reach that left hip back gently to get a more of a stretch in the left side. Inhaling, coming up a little bit and walking back to center. And exhaling over to the left side. And folding down. Just gently reach the right hip a little back. Make sure your whole body can relax into the stretch. You can experience the ribs expanding a little more on the right side with those deep breaths. And on your next inhalation, slowly walk back to the middle. And inhale, come up onto your knees. Bring the feet a little bit apart, the knees a little closer together. And we're going to take a breath in and exhale, round back once more to child's pose. And inhale, pull yourself up to cat pose. Lift your heart, look forward. Exhale, rounding back. And feel your low back as you inhale, coming up once more, maybe shifting the hips a little further forward, just where it feels right. And exhale, once more sitting back. You can coordinate your breath with the movement. Inhaling, coming up. Again, feeling your spine, maybe coming even further forward, maybe into a cobra, lowering the pelvis, only if it feels okay for your low back. And exhaling, rounding. And you can also add some circles to this. You can swing the hips over to the left as you come forward, inhaling and exhaling, shifting them to the right and sitting back. Again, just allowing the body to move as it feels good. And then if you're circling, we'll circle the other direction a couple of times. Inhaling. And long, slow exhalations, no rush. And sitting back in child's pose. One full, long, deep breath. And just feel the release as you exhale, let it go. And then coming up just a little bit, walking your hands towards you just a little bit. We're going to take a breath in and reach the left arm out to the side. Take a gaze over to the left at your fingers. Feel that gentle twist in the spine. And exhale, lower in the hand and slide it behind the right arm, underneath the armpit, lowering the left shoulder to the mat, the left side of your face to the mat. You might need a little pillow there if the floor is a little too far away. You can widen the knees once again if that feels more comfortable. A gentle thread the needle here. Opening the back left shoulder. Again, letting the body soften into the pose with every exhalation. And inhaling, slowly coming back up. Exhale, and this time inhale, reaching the right arm out. Nice gentle twist, gazing up towards the fingers. And exhaling, lowering that arm, sliding behind the left, all the way through, finding your pose on this side. Long, slow, deliberate breaths in and relaxing long exhalations. And inhaling, slowly coming back up. And bringing ourselves to tabletop. And you can come into puppy pose or prepare with me for downward dog. If you're coming into downward dog, walk your hands forward, one hand's distance. Spread your fingers out. Root in the hands. Press into the mat. So lengthen through the arms. Feel the inner elbows spiraling in. Curl the toes under. And press away to lift your knees off the mat, but reaching your hips back. It's okay to keep those knees nice and bent in the beginning. So you find your length, and then slowly straightening the legs and bending one knee and then the other. And breathing deeply. Notice if you're still pressing into all parts of your hands. Notice if you can spread the fingers wider. Draw the outer arms in towards each other. Reach back through the hip creases. And then coming to a steady dog. Let the tail lift a little higher. It's okay to have the knees bent. Remember that to get that nice straight spine. And then we're going to walk the feet up towards the hands. So shifting a little forward, taking steps forward. And then walking all the way to the front of your mat. Let your knees be generously bent in our first full forward fold. The belly is in contact with the thighs. The head is reaching down towards the mat. Pressing into all four corners of the feet. Feel the inner thighs spiraling back. This is going to align your hips. And just reaching the heart straight down and the crown of the head straight down. And bringing our hands either in front of the toes or on the shins or on blocks. We're going to come up halfway. Nice neutral spine. Reach the crown forward as you reach the tail back. Take a breath in. And exhale once more. Bend your knees, folding forward. Hands down onto the mat. Drop the head down. Bend your knees. Bring your hands to your hips. Lift your gaze. And slowly as you press into your feet, bring yourself all the way up. Maybe roll the shoulders a little bit. Good. And just relax for just a moment here. Standing with your feet grounded. The upper body lengthening. Feel rooted from the hips down to your feet as you press and extend the upper body straight up. Keeping the palms on the sides of your thighs or hips, reaching the fingertips straight down. Feel the length through the spine. Good. And let's take a breath in, bring the hands to the heart. And exhale, lower the arms and inhale them out and up. And again, as we exhale, bring the palms together, forward fold, all the way down to the mat. Inhale again halfway, hands to the blocks or shins or to the floor in front of you. And exhale, forward fold. Take a breath in and step back with your right foot. We're coming into our lunge pose and maybe want to take your blocks here. Either height, low, middle, or high. Press into the rear heel, lift your chest and look up. You can isometrically pull on those blocks or the floor to bring the heart forward, the shoulders back to lengthen through the neck. Notice if the right hip is coming back, aim it forward so both hips are square and feel the length from that rear heel all the way through the spine and through the crown. We're going to take a nice breath in, and we're going to turn the right heel back, bringing the foot onto the mat. So you might want to take a look back to be sure that's the way that foot is. Your left heel would go through your right arch, if you could draw a line there. So being nice and strong in our feet, we're going to press down and spiral up to warrior two. Good. You might want to shorten your stance a little bit. The left thigh is coming close to parallel, approaching parallel. The more parallel it is to the floor, the more intense the pose. So feel free to adjust. That left knee is back over the ankle. The torso is vertical, facing forward. Dropping the buttocks down and in so the belly comes in. And reaching the arms out. Relax the shoulders by rolling them back and down. The elbows can be a little soft. but gently reach in opposite directions. And as you inhale, lengthen up through the body by pulling the feet together, pulling up that pelvic floor and lengthening through the crown. We're going to take a breath in and exhale, lower the hands behind the back, interlacing the fingers and drawing the knuckles down towards the mat. Keep that left knee pressing back towards the pinky toes. Take a nice breath in, and we're going to exhale and hinge towards that left leg. It's a nice forward fold here. So you may stop here, or maybe your chest comes down further. Maybe it rests on the thigh, or maybe you come down even further. Maybe the head comes down, but be where it feels right for you. Maybe you can reach the knuckles back as you inhale, and exhale, reaching them back over the head. However you are, please don't make the pose difficult for you. You want the pose to breathe, relax. Take another breath in and exhale, lower the hands to the mat. Turn that right heel back up, coming into a lunge, and take another breath and exhale, step forward with that right foot. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale the hands to the heart. And relax. Simply breathe. Again, being very mindful of this moment. What is our experience? What's passing through in that empty sky? Pressing into the feet. Inhale once again, the arms out and up. Exhale the hands back down to the heart as we bend the knees, forward fold. Once more, inhale, step back with the right foot, again coming into that lunge. And then we're going to lower the right knee down. Have your blocks handy. We're going to do half split. So maybe inch the left foot a little bit forward, taking that next breath. And exhale, beginning to press the hips back, letting that left toe lift. Slowly find the edge. That left knee can stay bent. It doesn't have to be straight, but pull the toes towards you. So this is a forward fold. Whenever the upper body gets closer to the legs, or the chest gets closer to the legs, it's a forward fold. And we're affecting the back body, particularly here, the back of the left thigh, the hamstrings. Let the heart lift. Feel that heel, left heel, pulling into your left hip socket. Breathe deeply here. Remember, you can be even higher on the blocks if that feels more comfortable for you. Again, not making any strain, not letting any struggle arise in your pose. No competition. And inhale, slowly release that left foot down. Maybe walk the blocks forward, place your hands on the mat. And once more, step forward with the right foot, hang in forward fold. Hands to your hips, elbows in and back, slowly rise. And exhale, relax. And let all your attention float inside to what you're feeling just in this moment here. Again, opening the eyes, hands to the heart. Take a breath in. Exhale, lower the arms. Inhale, up. Gaze up at your fingers and exhale, palms together, folding forward. Lower the hands to the mat. Drop your head. And this time, inhale and step back with your left foot. Right knees over the ankle. Check your alignment. Again, find those blocks if that's more comfortable for you, any height. Press back into the rear heel and extend through your spine, out through the crown. Lift the chest forward. Again, pulling gently on your hands on the floor of blocks to bring the heart through so the shoulders are back. And feel that length and stretch through the spine. Breathe deeply. And once again, we're going to turn the left heel back. So the foot is completely on the mat. So take a look. Your right heel would intersect your left arch. Pressing into both feet, be strong in your feet. Inhale the left arm forward and up, coming into Warrior once more. Again, shorten your stance if you need to. You might find you're just a little wide. Keeping that right knee pressing towards your right pinky toe. Upper buttocks are down and in. Belly is in. Inhale the arms out, gazing over to the right shoulder. Feel the feet pulling in to pull up that energy through the pelvic floor, through the heart, out the fingers, and up through the crown of the head. Take another breath. Exhaling, lowering the hands behind the back, interlacing the fingers, reaching the knuckles straight down. Keep the chest lifted, feel the broadness. One more breath. And exhale, hinging over towards your right thigh. And be honest with yourself, not making it difficult. Stop where you need. Every exhalation, you may soften more deeply into this pose. Inhale, reach the knuckles back and up. And exhale, let it soften forward. However the pose is showing up, see if you can let it be. Take one more breath. And exhale, lowering the hands to the mat. Turning the left heel back and stepping forward with that left foot. Hands to the hips once more, elbows in and back, slowly rise. And exhale, close your eyes or keep them soft. Feeling and being rather than thinking and doing. And again, opening the eyes, bringing the hands to the heart. Taking a deep breath in. And exhale, lowering the arms, inhaling up. Hands together, exhale, folding forward. Hands again to the mat. Inhaling, stepping back left foot. Back into our lunge. And then lowering that left knee down. Again, preparing for Ardha Hanumanasana, half split, walking the right foot forward just a little bit. Again, bringing those blocks with you, whatever height feels good. Taking that next deep breath. And exhale, shifting the hips back, lifting the right toes. You want your left hip to be above the left knee. So check that. You might want to wiggle the right heel a little further forward. Good. And pulling on those blocks to reach the heart forward, to pull the left hip forward, reaching the toes towards you and that right heel, pulling into your right hip. Lift the chest. And exhale, bringing the chest maybe a little closer to the thigh, maybe not. Deep breath in. Long, slow exhalation. And inhale slowly, shift the hips back, lower that right foot. And we'll step up once more with the left foot. Forward fold, let the upper body hang forward. Lift your tail up a little bit higher. As you exhale, pull the navel in, pull up the pelvic floor, engaging those deep core muscles. Press into the big toe mound, feel the inner thighs rolling back. As you press into the heels, feel your tail lifting a little bit more and the crown reaching further down. Knees can be nice and bent. And then bending the knees once more, bringing the hands at hips, slowly rising. And relax. It might feel good to be completely still in your standing pose, or you might need some movement. So please just honor what your body is needing. Keep the breath smooth and relaxed. And opening our eyes when you feel ready. Preparing for balancing pose, so we'll put that in the middle of our forward folds. So we'll come into tree pose. So let's bring the feet together. Big toes touching, the heels a little bit apart. And if that's not comfortable, you can separate the feet a little bit more. So we're going to find mountain pose first. We're going to lift the toes, feel the arch lifted as you do that, nice and activated. Keep the toes spread wide and that action in the arches as you lower those toes down, spreading them out. Press into all four corners of the feet, a little bit more in the heels. Feel the fronts of the kneecaps lift, the lower thighs lift. Feel the inner thighs rolling back. This is going to line the hips. Feel the tail reaching towards the pubic bone and the pubic bone reaching towards your tail. Lift the ribs off the pelvis. Roll the shoulders back and down. Reach the fingertips straight down. As you press into your feet and reach the fingertips down, feel, again, the hips to the feet grounded and the upper body lengthening. Keeping the chin a little tucked, the ears are over the shoulders, and reaching from the heels up through the crown of the head. Notice your breathing. Good, now take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, shift your weight into your left foot, your left side. Bend your right knee, turn the toes out. This may be your pose, the tree pose today. Let's bring the hands to the heart. If you feel comfortable here, you can explore bringing the toes off the mat, bringing your right ankle onto your left ankle. I'm mirroring you, by the way. Or you can bring that foot anywhere along the inside of the thigh, or the leg, excuse me, but not the knee. So if you're here, that's fine. Press into that standing leg so that left hip doesn't jut out to the side. Stay tall. That right knee can come back and down gently. And as you press into that left foot, lengthen up. You can leave your hands to your heart, or you can slowly raise them up. Remember to gaze at one point. Soften your eyes. You can have your arms out in cactus if this feels better. Press the elbows back. Keep the breath steady and smooth. And again, notice what takes you out of that meditative state. Can you smile at yourself here? Take another breath. And exhale, bring the hands back to the heart. Stay strong in your standing leg, lower the right, and release your arms. Maybe close your eyes or soften, and just send your gaze downwards. Relax. This is part of the pose where we can receive this energy that's been shifted in the body, moving a little more freely through the meridians, and releasing tensions. And again, letting go of tree pose for now. And then opening your eyes again. Feet together as best as you can, whatever feels comfortable. Spreading out the toes, pressing down, lengthening up. This time shifting the weight into the right foot, the right leg, bending the left knee, turning that knee out. Again, maybe leaving the toes on the mat. Press firmly into that right foot. We don't want that right hip to come out. So we lengthen tall. Wherever you are, send that left knee gently down and back. Pulling the low back in, lifting the heart, lifting the ribs off the pelvis. Again, bringing the hands to the heart. And however you'd like to bring your arms, again, maybe overhead or maybe in cactus, maybe just reaching out. Stay firm in that standing leg. Reach upwards. Deep in the breath. Add your Ujjayi breath. Sometimes we find some tension and we change our breath unconsciously. So keep breathing deeply. Belly, ribs, and chest. Durga Pranayama, 3-part breath. One more. And exhale, lower your hands back to your heart. Lower that left foot to the mat. Lower your arms, close your eyes, feel, and be. And then opening the eyes slowly. Take your time. Notice what's happening for you. And then let's walk up to the front of the mat once more, please. Feet are together. Take a breath in, bring the hands to the heart. Exhale, lower the hands, inhale them up. Palms together, exhale, forward fold. Hands on the mat. And this time you might want to bring blocks in front once more. We're going to bring our weight onto those hands, shoulders above the wrists. They can be on the floor as well, however you feel most comfortable. And shifting the weight into the left foot, we're going to slowly bring the right leg back. So not too fast, because we don't want the hip to externally rotate. We want to keep the toes down, the heel up. So just reach through the heel, get long in your spine. It's just supported airplane pose. Reach through that right heel, spiral the right inner thigh up towards the sky to bring the hips neutral. Lengthen through the crown. Take one breath. And exhale, slowly bend that left knee and bring that right foot back. Lower it down, hip width. Bring your hands to the mat. Bring your left foot back and come into downward dog or puppy pose. Reach through the arms. Remember to bend the knees if you need to. Our next pose is pigeon pose, Kaponatasana. And for some people, this might not be accessible. So you might want to just watch me come into the pose and see what you think, and then I'll give an alternative. So let's take a breath in, coming up onto the toes, bending that right knee, and I'm going to bring that right knee to the inside of my right wrist, bringing that left heel either underneath my right hip or underneath the left or further over if that feels good. Then I'm going to slide my left foot straight back. Again, blocks can come in handy here in this pose. So you're up a little bit. The pelvis can be lifted, but keep the left hip pulling forward and the right hip pulling back. Reach the left toes back and look back that it's in midline so that foot isn't way out to the side. Bring it in. Top of the foot can be on the mat or the toes can be curled under. So we're leveling the hips, squaring the hips, pulling the left forward. The heart's lifted, and you can stay right here or you can come forward into a forward fold on the forearms, or maybe reaching all the way. Now for some people this might feel lovely, but for other people it may not be accessible. So if that's you, I'd like to suggest that you come onto your back. Cross the right ankle onto the left thigh, flexing the right ankle and picking up that left foot and holding either behind the thigh or below the knee, and drawing that right thigh into the chest. So we're using the same set of muscles, but this can be accessible for everyone, whereas pigeon pose isn't always accessible. So if you're on your back, draw the toes, the right toes towards your right knee, and exhaling, drawing that left thigh towards the chest. Relax the shoulders. Keep the chin gently tucked so we're long in our spine, and reach the tail away from you. And breathe. Try to find sense of ease and relaxation in this pose. This is reclined pigeon. And just observe your body with those long, slow exhalations. Relax into it. Again, we don't want to make any pose too challenging, because then the body will tense up and you'll finish your yoga practice feeling more tense than you were before. And that's not the idea of yoga. And if you're lying on your back, inhale, lower that left foot to the mat. If you're in pigeon pose on your front body, then you can come back into downward dog. If you're going to continue on your back, then you can cross the left ankle onto the right and continue on your back that pose. If you'd like to come into downward dog once more, I'm going to come into downward dog and again come into pigeon pose on this side, coming onto the toes, bending the left knee, bringing the left knee to the inside of the left wrist, bringing that left ankle to where it feels right, and sliding the right foot back. Remember, you can have blocks. Leveling the hips, drawing the right hip square forward, and relaxing down, keeping the right foot on midline. And staying here, which is a little bit of a back bend, reaching the heart up, pulling the low back in, or coming to a forward fold. Now this feels lovely to me, so I'm going to stay here. Just feeling breath, sensations. And in yoga, we learn that energy follows attention, and we can bring our attention to the tight areas in our body and send the breath right to that area and help it to open, to relax, and feel really nice. Sensations are your gauge to find your edge, along with our breathing. Remember, if we're beyond our edge, our breath will change. Good, and if you're lying on your back, lowering that right ankle to the mat or wherever you are. If you're in pigeon pose, coming back up, curling your right toes, coming back into downward dog. And everybody can come back down onto the knees or turning over. We're going to come to a seated position. Extending the legs out in front. So now for some of us, it's helpful to have some height. I like to have something, usually like a blanket or something. Block might be a little high for me. So I recommend getting something to give you a little bit of height and bringing the flesh out. This way we can have that natural curve in the low back that curves inwards. All right, so we widen the legs, not to where we're struggling, but coming just to where it feels right, so we can stay nice and tall. Fingertips can be in front for support. We're going to flex the ankles so the toes pull in. Good, and feel those heels pulling in again to your hips. You're going to feel the thighs very active as you do that. So before we come into a forward fold here, we're going to add a little twist. So let's bring the left hand behind the left hip. I'm mirroring you. And take a nice breath in, bring the left hand maybe to the inside of the thigh, left thigh, or to the outside. If it doesn't reach, just keep the hand here, that's fine. Let's inhale, lengthen, pressing into the left fingertips or the palm, and exhale, a gentle twist, left. Stay broad in the chest. Have a little smile in the corners of your mouth. And gazing left, focus on the length upwards, the softening as you exhale. And then inhale and slowly come back. Staying tall, not letting your spine sink down. And bringing the right hand behind the right hip, left hand maybe to the inside or onto the thigh. Inhale, press down to get tall. And exhale, begin your twist on the opposite side, twisting right. Keep the chest wide from shoulder to shoulder. Send your gaze towards the right. If it doesn't feel right on your neck, then don't. Look wherever it feels right. You can even experiment and stay twisting right, but send your gaze left. And then inhale, keep lengthening as you slowly unwind. And relax. So for some of you, being here is going to be as far as you're going to go. For others, you might want to have your blocks here. You have 3 heights. But bring your fingertips maybe to the floor first. Again, pulling in the heels, ankles flexed, pulling in the low back, broadening the chest. So again, you can feel the intensity of just being here. So folding forward might create too much of a strain. This might be enough. Otherwise, inhale and lengthen up. And exhale, begin to slowly hinge forward without changing your spine, keeping it neutral. We want to keep that low back curve. We want to lift the chest. Relax as you exhale. We come to a different edge with every breath. And then you'll find a place where there's no more movement and just stay there. Maybe bring your forearms onto blocks. Sometimes I like to take a bolster and place it on the floor and let my forehead rest there. So find what works and keep your breath steady and smooth and empty out your mind and just feel this experience fully. Again, sending your breath awareness to the areas of tightness. Notice the effect. Pull your navel forward a little bit. Again, not making it difficult. Add your Ujjayi breath. We'll hold for just a little bit longer to give the body an opportunity to really receive this pose. And then we'll take a breath in and slowly come up. Sometimes it's nice to take your hands behind your knees and let your knees bend. You might feel some strong sensations there. Good. Maybe shake them out a little bit. And we're going to come onto our backs once more. So let's widen the feet, bring your arms out to the sides and just rock the knees side to side. It's a nice release for the low back. And when you feel ready, let's bring the feet onto the mat. And let's just bring the knees into the chest. Lift your head, tuck your chin so the back of your neck is long. Your hands could be on your knees, or maybe you can hold your opposite wrist, or maybe all the way around to your elbows. As long as your tailbone can reach away, pressing down, we're trying to lengthen the spine. So this is a forward fold. It's a release in the low back. Notice if you can breathe deeply. Again, we feel the pressure of our belly on the thighs. You can feel the low back and ribs expand. And on your next deep breath, we'll release the arms down, lower the feet. Let the feet come close together, the knees together, arms alongside your body with the palms down. And we'll just do a nice easy back bend, our bridge pose, to counteract all the forward folds. So let's bring the heels apart and then the toes. Press into all four corners of your feet. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, draw the navel in, pull up the pelvic floor, activating the core muscles, curl the tail under and slowly lift your hips. Lift to where it feels comfortable. Pressing into the balls of the feet and also pressing them away to feel that lift in the hips. We want to lift the heart up as well as we can, so also pressing into the triceps. You can bring your arms underneath you. We have different variations here. You can rock side to side to bring the shoulders underneath, or you can come into a restorative pose by bringing the block underneath your sacrum. Your choice. If you find your knees are splaying apart, pressing a little more on the inner heels will help with that. You can even imagine pressing into a block between your thighs with a belt wrapped around your legs, so you're pressing into the block as well as pressing away into the strap. You can feel that sensation. Keep the tail curling under, maybe lifting higher. Take another breath. And exhale, release your arms from underneath you and slowly lower down, one vertebra at a time. And let your body respond however it wants. Maybe again, tucking the knees in the chest or extending the legs out long on the mat. And just breathe, feel, relax. Notice the stillness, calmness of the mind. And one more time, bend your knees, one foot on the mat and then the other. And just coming into a nice spinal twist before we come into Shavasana. So let's lift the feet off of the mat. Keep the knees and the feet glued together. You can bring your palms down onto the mat with your arms out in a T position. You might want to have a block handy because sometimes we need that for support. And we're going to bump the hips a little to the left. So if you need to, you can lower your feet back to the mat, shift your hips to the left, and then pick up your feet. Keep the feet and knees together. We're going to take a breath in and exhale, keeping them together, shifting over to the right side, the right hip. So the left hip lifts and it's stacking over the right. And if that left shoulder wants to lift, then place a block underneath your right thigh or knee, wherever it needs to be for support, so that your shoulder can be heavy into the mat. And breathe. You can look any direction that feels right, to the right or ahead or over to the left. On a nice deep in-breath, slowly come back up. Then take your block, if you think you'll need it, to the other side. Remember, both sides can be different. Let's put the feet down, bring the hips back to center. And lifting up the feet, bumping the hips a little to the right. Taking that nice breath. Palms down in a T and exhaling the knees and feet over to the left, keeping them together as best you can, letting the hips stack. And again, keeping the right shoulder on the mat by placing a block for support wherever you need to under that thigh, and gazing wherever it feels good. Nice soft Ujjayi Dirga Pranayama breath, ocean sounding 3-part breath. Relax your face, shoulders, whole body. Full breath in, slowly bringing the body back up. Exhale, lowering the feet, bringing the body back to neutral, bringing the hips back to center. And just take a moment to feel. And if you feel complete, coming into Shavasana, lengthening out your legs. Remember, you can always put blocks underneath your thighs if you feel that would help support your low back a little bit. Let your arms be wide. And maybe lift your head to see that your neck and spine are in alignment in the center of your body. Let your feet just fall out to the sides. Fingers naturally curl when they're relaxed, so let them relax. Let the breath relax your whole core. Let the breath fill up through the belly into the low back, the ribs, the upper back, the heart area, shoulders and chest. And exhale a full surrender into the essence of this moment. Letting go a little more deeply with each breath into this calm and peace and serenity of your true nature. without changing anything. Again, just witness the breath, the body simply breathing you. And just give the fingers and toes a wiggle. Take a deep breath. Let's bring the arms up overhead and reach the legs in opposite direction. Get a full body stretch. And then lower the arms to your sides. Bend one knee and then the other. And maybe bring the knees into the chest. And then roll over onto one side. And slowly preparing to come back to a seated position, placing one hand on the mat and pressing yourselves slowly back up. Really feeling what it's like to be relaxed in your body, the mind more still. So we can access this at any time throughout the day, just remembering this moment. Let's bring the hands together in front of the heart, sitting up tall. Again, please join me as we chant the sound of Om. Take a deep breath in. Exhaling fully. And again, inhaling deeply. May be well, peaceful, and happy. And may all beings be well, peaceful, happy, and free from suffering. Let your eyes slowly open. Jai Bhagwan. Jai Bhagwan. Thank you again for coming.